Can corn flour and cornmeal be substituted for one another in recipes?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Decoding the Recipe. Today, we are going to answer a question that has baffled many in the kitchen. Can corn flour and cornmeal be substituted for one another in recipes? If you have ever come across a recipe that called for one or the other and you were unsure whether you could use them interchangeably, this video is for you.
What is corn flour?
Firstly, let's break down what corn flour is. Corn flour is a finely ground powder made from whole corn kernels. It's usually used as a thickening agent in sauces, gravies, and soups, or it can be incorporated into baked goods. It has a light, soft texture and a subtle flavor that generally doesn't overpower other ingredients in a recipe.
What is cornmeal?
On the other hand, cornmeal is a coarser grain, also derived from dried corn. It comes in a variety of grinds, from fine to medium to coarse, and is often used to make dishes like cornbread, polenta, and grits. Cornmeal has a more pronounced corn flavor and a grittier texture compared to corn flour.
Can they be substituted for each other?
Now, to the main question of our video. Can corn flour and cornmeal be substituted for one another? The short answer is, it depends on the recipe. The differing textures of corn flour and cornmeal mean they will behave differently in recipes. For instance, if you are making a sauce or a gravy, corn flour would be the appropriate choice due to its fine texture. It will dissolve seamlessly into the liquid, thickening it without adding grittiness. However, if you're baking something like cornbread or making polenta, cornmeal is your go-to. Its coarser texture lends a desirable crumbly, gritty texture to these dishes that corn flour wouldn't.
What if you really need to substitute?
If you find yourself in a pinch and all you have is cornmeal when your recipe calls for corn flour, you can make it work. You can grind cornmeal to a finer texture using a food processor or a coffee grinder to mimic the consistency of corn flour. But remember, this won't be ideal in all recipes, especially those where a fine texture is critical. Substituting corn flour for cornmeal, on the other hand, could potentially make your dish too soft or lack the textural components that cornmeal would bring. So, there you have it. While it's possible to substitute corn flour for cornmeal and vice versa, it's important to consider the recipe and the textures that each ingredient brings. Understanding these small but crucial differences can make a big difference in your cooking and baking adventures. We hope this video has been helpful, and as always, happy cooking!